Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal. It's that time of the week again, me speaking to you via the inside of my car, which means only one thing: I am at Arsenal's training ground. Glorious day here in London Colney as one of the players' cars pulls up behind me in the, I think you can see it there, one of their fancy cars pulls up behind me in what is the car wash area here, where they can just, while they go off to training, they've got professional car wash people behind me, got a tent set up, and they clean their cars so that once they're done training, they return home in a very, very shiny looking motor. Anyway, yes, I'm here at London Colney for Mikel Arteta's press conference, which will be starting in about half an hour's time. And the big news ahead of this press conference, of course, is that Mikel Arteta has signed a new Arsenal contract. That was announced this morning by Arsenal. It's a contract that runs until 2025, so 3 more years for Mikel Arteta. Certainly generated a lot of debate since that news broke this morning. There's no doubt that Mikel will be asked plenty of questions about that, like, why now? You know, what's the announcement now? Couldn't it wait till the summer? I know lots of people think it should have waited till the summer. Personally, for me, I don't see any reason to not announce it now, because it was always going to happen. I've spoken about it before. Barring an absolute collapse at the end of the season, Mikel was always going to sign a new contract, and that's exactly what's happened. And it's either wait to announce it at the end of the season or announce it now. And look, they've just had 3 very good wins. The timing's good for it. Maybe it's a bit smart the way they've announced it after those 3 wins. They probably wouldn't have done had they just lost 3 in a row. But it was always going to happen. You know, this club are very invested in Mikel Arteta and the project, the process, whatever you want to call it. And what this does is bring a little bit of stability to things. Any new signing that they're talking to right now, and they'll be talking to plenty of them, believe me, they know full well who the manager is and who the manager is going to be. And Edu, in his comments on the sort of press release statement that was released when Arsenal confirmed Arteta had signed his new contract, said exactly that they want everyone to know who the manager is. They know they've got another big summer to come, and this has just brought that stability. And then it's not just new signings as well, possible new contracts. We know they'll be talking to the likes of Martinelli and Saka, trying to get them signed to new contracts. And believe me, it'll be easier to get them signed to new deals with knowing that Arteta is here, because they like Mikel Arteta, absolutely 100% back Mikel Arteta, and they've got more chance of getting them to sign new deals with Arteta having confirmed and put pen to paper himself. So anyway, there'll be plenty of questions about that. I'm going to pop in now and get ready for the press conference, and I will come back out afterwards and tell you what Mikel had to say.
Yeah.
He's coming.
Hello.
Right, so that's Mikel Arteta's press conference done here at London Colney. Some interesting points, as you can imagine. It was very much dominated by talk about the new contract that he has signed. It was announced today. Some interesting stuff from Mikel on that. Probably the most interesting line, I would say, is that he kind of revealed that he was actually offered the new contract straight after those 3 successive defeats. So it wasn't offered on the back of this good little run where they got 9 points from Man United, Chelsea and West Ham. It actually was offered straight after the Southampton game, when they lost 3 in a row to Palace, Brighton and Southampton. He said that made him emotional. He said it sort of made him feel like this club is serious about the project and the sort of belief that they've expressed in him. It's interesting stuff there, I thought, from him. He spoke at length about why he did it, and he said that the players have been coming up to him in the last couple of months and kind of been asking him about the situation, so he felt it was very important to kind of bring some clarity to the situation. Edu had kind of touched on that, and when he spoke about it on the sort of statement that was released this morning when Arsenal announced the new deal. And I think it certainly does that. There's no doubt about it. I think when it comes to the players that are here that will be talking about new contracts. So you're looking at Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, potentially Gabriel, the defender as well, and some other players who they're going to want to know that Arteta is here. You know, plenty of people might not like Mikel Arteta in terms of the Arsenal fan base, certainly the Arsenal social media fan base, but the players absolutely do. The players that are here, they believe in this project, and they absolutely would want Mikel Arteta to stay. And so I think this will certainly help in terms of their mindset if they are going into contract talks this summer, and certainly in terms of new signings, potential new signings, who the club will have been speaking to for a long, long time in terms of their representatives to try and get something done and sealed ahead of the summer. You know, they will want to know exactly what the plan is here. Is Mikel Arteta to stay? If he'd gone into this summer still with only 1 year left on his contract, not having signed it, there would have been lots of questions asked by potential new signings, like, well, what's going on with the manager? Is he still going to be there? Am I going to sign and suddenly he leaves and a new manager comes in? So it has brought that clarity, and Mikel spoke at length about that. You'll be able to find the full transcript from the press conference over on Arsenal.com. I think it's gone up now already. He also spoke about a fair few other things during the press conference, team news-wise, ahead of the game against Leeds. Some good news, really, as I reported yesterday. All three of the kind of injury doubts do have a chance of playing. He said that Ben White is in contention. They have to do another check on him tomorrow to see if he'll be available or not to play in the game, but everyone else is okay. And when he talks about everyone else, that obviously doesn't include Thomas Partey or Kieran Tierney, the players who are on the long-term injured list, but it includes Bukayo Saka, who limped off against West Ham last week, and Takahiro Tomiyasu, who limped off last week as well. So I'd kind of say, looking at the team news, if Ben White doesn't make it, you're looking at the same starting 11, I would say, from the team that played against West Ham. I can't really see too many other changes from that. So that's very good news for Arsenal going into the Leeds game at the weekend. I also asked him about the rumours linking Gabriel with a move to Juventus, and kind of said, look, we know you've got a lot of work to do this summer, and the players will be leaving. You're looking at players who are out on loan possibly at the moment, players who are out of contract. But in terms of the guaranteed starting 11, you know, do you consider them untouchable? And he stopped short possibly of agreeing with the word untouchable, but he did say that they didn't want to retain any of their best players. They didn't want to lose any of their best players, this summer. He wants to build on things now with his squad and move it forward and not lose players. And I think that's certainly news that those are words that will bring comfort to a lot of Arsenal fans, because as I've spoken about in previous videos, the last thing you want to do when you're in this sort of project that Arsenal are in now is to end up losing players and kind of go and taking one step forward, two steps back, and that sort of thing. Arsenal have had such a long history when it comes to looking like they're about to build something, then suddenly the best players move on and they're starting from scratch again. And I think with this process, project, whatever you want to call it, you can really see the kind of how the team is shaping up now, certainly in terms of the starting 11. And the last thing you'd want is to lose a player like Gabriel or Kieran Tierney, who's been linked with Real Madrid, those sort of players. So that was an interesting point, I thought, from the press conference. You'll be able to find, like I said, all of what Mikel Arteta had to say on Arsenal.com right now. In terms of the game against Leeds, like I said, I just think you're going to look at the same sort of starting 11 now for Arsenal. I don't really see what else he's going to do. Yes, you've potentially got the option of bringing Emil Smith-Rowe back in, but I'm not sure Emil has done enough in the last few games that he has played to keep Martinelli out the side. I think when you look at what Martinelli did against Leeds last time at Ellen Road, when he scored twice, caused them all sorts of problems, I think you definitely play Martinelli in this game for me. So predicted 11-wise, if I'm sort of presuming that you don't take any chance with Ben White and potentially might be on a bench, something like that, I think you stick with Rob Holding at centre-back alongside Gabriel. Obviously you have Tomiyasu right back, Tavares at left-back, Aaron Ramsdale in goal, and then you stick with the midfield two that have done so well recently in Granit Xhaka and Mohamed El-Neni. Then it would be Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Martinelli and Eddie Nketiah keeping his place up front. I'd be very surprised if we see any real changes apart from that starting 11, unless of course there are a few injuries that we haven't been told about that kind of Arsenal are keeping under wraps at the moment. So yeah, that's a predicted 11 I'm going on. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment below if that is the 11 you'd like to see line up against Leeds or not. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to start heading off now, and yeah, I will speak to you later. Signing off from Arsenal's training ground here at London Colney.